So local time here at Macau, just gone 1:45 in the afternoon on day one for the 72nd Macau Grand Prix. And we're about to see one of the great features of the Macau Grand Prix weekend. We call it a weekend. It's 4 days. It's Thursday all the way through until race day, Grand Prix day here on Sunday. And two of the features are coming up in a few minutes. At 1:35, we'll have free practice for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. That's for GT4 cars. But first, we've got the Macau Roadsport Challenge, and we get the chance to look down the field as they're lined up down in the assembly area, waiting to go out on circuit. The local talent, the drivers that look forward to this weekend like no other. And so do the teams, and so do the sponsors, because on a world stage, this is where the local drivers really get a chance to shine. Macau Roadsport Challenge is coming up, David Anderson, and it really is one of the features that always makes me smile here at Macau. This is very much the ethos, the feeling, the heartbeat behind the Macau Grand Prix week.
And they lost out rather badly last year with the rain-affected races, with stoppages and safety cars, because they only get the one race over the course of the weekend, and the top scoring drivers from the Macau Roadsport Challenge having this non-championship invitational race. 68 drivers scored points across the two groups. Now, we're due to start at 12:50. That might be slightly delayed because the previous session was stopped early after a big accident for GT Porsche with quite a bit of debris strewn across the circuit, but also barrier damage. So whether or not we're going to go on time, we'll have to wait and see. There you can see Yui Lung's car, 38. The Macau Roadsport Challenge, which used to be a bit of a catch-all for a real miscellany of sports and saloon cars, has morphed over the last few seasons into a two-model championship. The Subaru BRZ or the Toyota GR86 are the eligible cars. Number 14, Lo Pat Yu with the Toyota, and sitting next to him there is Chan King Sang with another of the Subaru BRZs that we have.
I think we're going to be ready to go pretty much on time. I think just reading the body language down there in the assembly area, I think we may well be ready to go on track, which would be very impressive, because it was a big accident that we just endured for a driver that was topping the times in the GT World Cup, FIA GT World Cup. Lawrence Van Thur just had a big accident at the end of that session, and car damage, a lot of it, and barrier damage as well. One thing you can see with the cars lined up down there in the assembly area is how windy it is today. It's been a windy week here at Macau, the Greater Bay Area, and I think it will continue to be windy today. That's good news. We are underway.
Absolutely, and this full grid is going to pour out on track, so drivers to keep an eye on. Lo Pat Yu, who was the winner of Group A, and Chan Kin Sang, winner of Group B. They are your two champions of the season. That's why they are in front of the pre-grid. But there are other familiar names that we've seen regularly over the seasons, like Adrian Chung, like Rui Valent, like Geronimo Balaraco, Damon Chan, and we'll find a few others that will be fighting for honours over the course of the weekend as this free practice session gets underway. They have a free practice, a qualifying and a race, and they're the final few cars making their way out onto the circuit from that pre-grid, and all of a sudden it gets very, very busy down on Lisboa.
It certainly does. And we have, so on a sheet of A4, two sides of A4 is the entry for this, and it's just so good that every year the Roadsport Challenge is so attractive to local saloon car racers, and very, very established racers. We had two races for Roadsports last year, because we had the Establishment Cup Roadsports and we had the Roadsport Challenge as well. So many of these drivers featuring in the Establishment Cup or Roadsports, or some of them actually competing in the GT4 category last year, but they are local drivers from Hong Kong, Macau, from China, and all competing here for the opportunity of potentially being on the top step of the podium, and if not on the top step, to be on the podium is enough. And if not that, it's enough just to be competing, isn't it? To be here, to be on the world stage. And when you see the cameras go down the cars when they're in the assembly line, they all make the absolute most of the moment that they get on the television screen. It's just brilliant. The other brilliant thing is that you're seeing liveries of the region. You're seeing these bright, bold colours and designs that are just for this weekend. They are unique to this weekend, and just super to see. I love these.
Yeah, I can tell.
Does it come over?
It does rather. Yeah. The championship from which they have raced finished in May. They only get 4 races, so the double-header weekends. The 2 previous events take place in Guangdong, the circuit there. So they don't get a lot of racing over the course of the season, so they're all absolutely eager to get back on track when they get here. Chan Kin Sang had 2 wins in Group B. Adrian Chung and Bayan Yip were the other victors. And in Group A, Lo Pak Yu had 2 wins, Damon Chan had 1, and Wong Chuk Pan took the 4th. So a fair spread of people that have been up at the pointy end of the field over the course of the season. Number 19 there is Wong Chuk Pan going through. The other nice thing about teams in this region, it's not just the livery, it's also the names. So you get quite used to a given style of name in Europe. But I quite like things like Auto Wonderland, who run Carsten Tang's car, or Lu Rong Yin's Monkey Racing operated car. Premium racing team, Speed Premier. The Mogan Team Track Day King Subaru is driven by Chan Kar Ping. And you've got Spark Racing to throw in as well, but some different names, which is quite cool.
Yeah, you're right. Team names and liveries, and now they've completed 1 out lap from pit lane. It all does get a bit bustly, doesn't it? Because they know what they've got to do today. They will only be out for 2 days of the 4. So they're out today. They will have free practice, the session. We've now got over half an hour, and they will qualify at the end of this afternoon. Again, over half an hour. It's getting a bit tight down there.
Well, somebody had a big slide. I think there is a bit of damage to one car that got a bit caught up with the Lisboa barriers, and we'll see shortly whether it continues on its way. This is the first proper flying lap, as number 14, Lo Pak Yu, goes through. So the Group A champion, one to watch.
Qualified 6th last year in the Establishment Cup Roadsports and finished the race in 4th place, did Lo Pak Yu.
Okay. On his tail is Chan Kar Ping, who was 2nd in the 1st and 3rd races of the season. Chan Kar Ping.
And we should just reiterate how important it is not to damage the car during this session, because they qualify in just a few hours' time. They qualify at the end of this afternoon, so at 4:45 local time. Local time here at the moment is just coming up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So they will qualify this afternoon. They don't feature on track tomorrow, but they'll race on Saturday morning, 9 laps around the gear circuit. So this is really an incredibly important day for free practice and for qualifying as well.
Yeah, it's a funny timetable for them, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
A busy day, a day off, a race, and then go home. But it all works out, and you're right, keep the car off the wall, absolutely vital to all of this.
Thrilling their way around the Macau hairpin, and they will do so, hopefully without catching that barrier on the exit, because the exits in a saloon car and a GT car as well is pretty inviting if you get the power down just a little bit too early, exiting the Macau hairpin. Not what you want to do.
No, totally. Right, so we're about to see proper flying laps, aren't we? And here comes then Chan Kar Ping. This is the Mogan Team Track Day King Subaru that is about to emerge. You still think of Subaru mainly as a rally brand, but that's a good 2-seater sports car, that, and there is one that has ground to a halt on the mountain circuit. So the yellow flags are being waved, but I've got a horrible feeling that this is going to have a red flag soon to get that off the racetrack.
It's a yellow flag at the moment at turn 11, and this is ultimately going to be the first of the flying laps we've had during this session. Keep a keen eye on the timing screen to see if the session gets interrupted.
Whether or not that's the car that clipped the wall at Lisboa and has ground to a halt, or is a separate incident, time will tell. There is number 14, which is Low Pak Yu, and you can tell he's just stood on the brakes because, as we became used to seeing a couple of years back, when you absolutely stand on the brakes in these effectively road-going cars, it triggers the hazard light mechanism.
I've forgotten that, yeah.
And so it's the sort of warning that sudden braking is taking place. So quite regularly you get the cars with the hazard lights on.
Proof you have a road sports car.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
Yeah. Adrian Chung, meanwhile, on the first flying lap has gone quickest at 2 minutes 49.037, car number 11, looking at the 44 car, and that's the car of Chan Kao Ping in the Mogan Team Track Day King Subaru. 10th place in the Establishment Cup Road Sports race last year. Adrian Chung, at top of the times, was 4th in the Establishment Cup last year, but won one of the races for the 70th anniversary Road Sports race the previous year, which was a double weekend, wasn't it? So we had two races that weekend.
So it's getting busy on track as...
Red flag.
Oh dear, Low Pak Yu has the cars behind him. That red, I think, was inevitable, and that's going to be for that car that just can't get going again.
I was about to say, I think we've escaped having a red flag, but no, unfortunately we have had a red flag come out there. And that's for the recovery, so onwards and inwards into pit lane for now. Nice livery that, isn't it? Black and gold livery for Adrian Chung's car.
Yeah, it's understated, but it works in the context of this. So 21 minutes still to go. We'd had effectively the first third of the session, and so far all of this doesn't really matter to the timetable. Free practice sessions, the clock can carry on ticking. It matters a bit more when it's qualifying or race day, because the roads have to be opened, come what may, at 6 p.m. Not as soon as racing finishes, although if they can open them sooner it will be, but at 6 o'clock, absolutely, the roads are open. So everything has to be rattled through. There, coming to the pit lane, is Adrian Chung in the LW World Racing Team entry, and he's the fastest so far.
And sunsets really quickly as well. It gets dark really quickly, doesn't it? So by about 6 o'clock in the evening here at Macau, the place lights up. The lights, the coloured lights, it's just a unique part of the world for the daytime activities here around the Macau circuit, because this is unique. 4 days of the year you can do this.
Well, there you've got a perfect example of normal life and racing, because the taxi parallel to the circuit, you've got cars coming down the pit lane and other people going about their daily lives, getting a cab somewhere.
Great example.
Two worlds meet. Yeah.
The taxi won.
It did. Well, that's not under red flag conditions. So you've got the cars down the pit lane. Because of the road opening at 6 o'clock, it means, unless there was ever to be special dispensation for a year, maybe in another anniversary year they could do it, but it means you can't have a night race, and that will be something amazing here, because Macau in the day has a great appeal. Macau at night looks like a different place, with all the casinos and the hotels lit up and the neon lights. It is just an amazing feeling, and to have a race under that would be quite something.
So even if you come back here year after year, it still takes your breath away when you go out for your first evening walk.
Yeah, it's true.
And I still get my phone out and I take identical photographs to the ones that I took last year and the year before and the year before that, just because it's so unique.
Yeah.
And the photograph that I took a couple of nights ago will be exactly the same photograph that I have taken for umpteen years here, but it's still just, it's just unique, and it takes your breath away, and it's lovely. Fair bit of sweeping going on down there, isn't there?
Yeah, and that would suggest another incident, wouldn't it, rather than just stopping, because it's also an odd place to stop.
Yeah.
So I think the car in question has top of the wall. Now, it might be number 13, because Campbell Boom's car has not yet come back into the pit lane.
As far as I can see of the colouring of the car through the distant through the fencing. That would be, that would be in keeping with the colours I saw yesterday.
So when you go round the support race paddock, which is in a car park, an underground car park, you go with your crayons, do you? And you colour in a little square next to the car.
Comes later.
Oh, I see.
So you've gone too early here. You have to photograph everyone first. So a photograph hopefully showing the bonnet and the side of the car as well.
Right.
And then back home or back to the hotel. Then the colouring pens come out, and then I produce this, which I like to think is a work of art.
Oh, I see. On which, next to the car number, there's a little square with the colours of the car.
Yes.
Gosh. Fill the space and time. There's number 42, that being Kenneth Wong's car, being pushed back to the team. And we will await news as to the resumption of the session. There, the redoubtable Geronimo Barraco. He has been a staple of this event for as long as most people can remember.
It's a design of little chili peppers all over the front of the car, that.
Okay.
Which I mistakenly thought were strawberries as I approached the car.
Don't get them confused in real life, because otherwise it's going to be very fiery.
It would all go horribly wrong, wouldn't it?
I thought it was a lobster when I walked past it yesterday.
No, you'd be forgiven for thinking lobster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, never get lobster confused with anything else. There in the pit lane is Lung Si-Hwa, whose car is 8th fastest at the moment. Lung Si-Hwa drives one of the Toyota GR86s. Ao Chi Wang's Subaru down the pit road. 93 there is Chung Poi Lam, another of the Subaru BRZ drivers. And 61 ready to go back out, Sang Pak Yin. So again, you see, not quite sure that was quite what he meant to do to the camera, but you can see the enjoyment that the drivers have. As soon as the camera goes near, they're all smiles and
it's great, isn't it?
Fist bumping and everything else. That's Chung Poi Lam's car, 93.
One of the real features when we see the drivers inside the car, you see how pumped up they are.
Absolutely. And even last year, when it was stoppage after stoppage, they were still so enthusiastic.
They were.
Right, the session will resume on short notice, so as soon as possible they'll get the cars out without having to go through a restart process. You can just say, right, let's go. Chankar Ping third in the times at the moment, number 44, with the Morgan Team Track Day King Subaru BRZ. And even though it's not the sunniest of days, it's still warm and it's still hot in the car, so the slow as they get some cool air. Yeah, the
really
humidity
humid. Always very humid this time of year. And I think I saw this morning when we were walking in, said, oh, the humidity is not too bad today. It was 73% humidity. So that's still quite a humid day, even though that's quite low for what we can achieve here. It's really quite a humid. Surrounded by water, aren't we? We've got the reservoir, we've got the water, got the ferry terminal. We are surrounded by water here at Macau. So we are going to get this session back underway very soon. It is for the Macau Roadsport Challenge, one of the great features every year of the Macau Grand Prix week. It's a unique week this as well, because not only is it the week of the Macau Grand Prix, but it's also the National Games here.
That's right,
and
yes.
They are very proud and privileged to be hosting elements of the National Games in Macau. So it's quite a busy time, sporting-wise and tourism-wise. Couldn't be any busier, could it?
No,
really?
And it is noticeably busier.
It is, yeah.
Coming through airports or in the hotels, and you can tell that people are here for different events just off what they're wearing.
Yes, yeah. Usually it's the Macau Grand Prix that takes over everything, and that is continuing this year for the 72nd Macau Grand Prix, but also hosting the National Games as well, which is a huge thing in the Greater Bay area.
Right, the green flag is imminent, I think. Everybody queued up at the end of the pit lane, ready to go, and so we're not far off getting things back underway for now just over 13.5 minutes. So as soon as the green flag will be shown, we can get things back underway. As we say, these cars will also qualify at the end of the day. We've got GT cars to come in GT4, and then later a second GT3 session. We've got another touring car session, and also another single-seater session for the Macau Grand Prix itself later on in the day. So the teams now telling drivers, get ready. 1 or 2 already in the fast lane, but the majority waiting a signal. Green flag, so we're in business. The session is live once again.
And already we're into the second half of the session, so we've only done 2 flying laps, and with the resumption of the session, well, 2 flying laps is the sum total of the first half of the session, which is pretty difficult to deal with, and it's slightly tempting to push a little bit too hard on this outlap from pit lane, and the tyres have cooled down, and then it all could all go rather wrong. But you need to look after these cars because they're qualifying at 4:45 this afternoon, and that's going to be an important part. And yeah, take it calm, eh?
Yeah, 4 abreast, take it calm. Can I hit my eyes yet? Through
yes.
Lisboa they all turn.
It's all okay.
Is it? Good.
It's all okay.
And that is one of the great iconic shots, that corner, with all the colour in the background, the crane parked by the side of the circuit, the rope hovering over the track, and lots of cars going underneath it.
The amount that goes into the building of this event, the infrastructure and the build is just incredible, isn't it? When you think about it, it's not the work of a moment to get a crane into position to be on these various corners around the circuit, and when they're called into operation, they make light work of a collection of a car. That's the least of the worries, if you like.
True, and the guy that's in charge of the crane at Lisboa, it's the first time he's got the contract. It's a new business.
Wow.
Yeah, might be new, but business is picking up.
"11 minutes and 12 seconds of the session remain." I think that was a respectful time.
When you got that tumbleweed, you can accrue in 10 seconds of silence. So following this, we'll have free practice for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. That's the only time they'll be out today, and that's the GT4 cars. They get the chance to experience the gear circuit, and then we go back through the cars that we've already had out today. We'll have the FIA TCR World Tour cars for the Macau gear race, the GT3 cars for the GT World Cup, and the FR World Cup cars. And then at the end of this afternoon, the cars that we now see on circuit, they'll be qualifying over half an hour for the Macau Roadsport Challenge. And this, the outlap. So at the end of this lap, when we complete this lap, we'll have 10 minutes remaining, and that's a bit of just a clip that I think we got away with. Yeah, and that was coming past us just out of the last corner. So the big slide from 28 it was, getting all crossed up. Geronimo Badaracco. So lots of shouts at Geronimo, I think, because he threw it sideways, but he saved it. Badaracco has been around here, as I said a few minutes ago, for season after season. 21, David Chan.
He was second last year.
He was, wasn't he?
Badaracco.
Yeah.
In a great race. Qualified first as well, and has one of the best names ever for a racing driver.
Badaracco. That's the one. That's the one, yeah. So down at Lisboa, more shuffling. Now, 20th in the times, Jankin Sang has just done the absolute best first sector. So drivers are going to shuffle the order, I think, before the very end.
It's number 96, Jankin Sang, for the SS Racing team in the Subaru. 20th at the moment, but purple in Sector 1. Damon Chan has gone purple in Sector 2. Some of them still on the outlap from pit lane after that interruption to the session. But it's Adrian Chung in car number 11 who is top of the times at the moment, 2:49.037. Only 2 flying laps so far completed, and with 8.5 minutes of the session remaining. Yet to see this session really take shape.
Pirelli tyres on which they all run, and 8 minutes on the clock. As up towards Moorish Hill now comes the hard charging number 21, Damon Chan Toyota. So Damon Chan at the moment, 4th in the times. I still think Chan Kim-san's going to get himself up near the top because he's doing absolute best sectors, but so is Adrian Chung, as well as number 44 of Chan Ka-ping. So there is going to be a bit of a shuffle to the order. Very wide around the hairpin, but safely so. There goes David Chan. Makes the run down the hill. Damon Chan, the Hong Kong driver. Some in the entry from Hong Kong, others from Macau. You have Wang Shangyuan from Chinese Taipei. There's Zhu Xirei from China, and Huang Ying also from mainland China. So up to the timing line in a moment will come Damon Chan, 4th start on the lap, and although he's not done any purples, it's been green, 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 green across the sectors, and Damon Chan goes through, goes fastest, and does a 2:46.7, so he's top at the moment, but I'm not convinced he's going to stay there.
Everyone shuffling around now, because I think one that we need to look at is the 44 car of Chan Ka-ping, who's gone purple, overall best in sectors 2 and 3. Personal best sectors in sectors 1 and 4. Is about to complete a lap. We're looking at Damon Chan, and we've got a yellow flag at Marshall's Post 15.
And that's why, because someone's gone straight on and headbutted the tyres.
And that's quite a bash into the barrier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Waiting for Chan Ka-ping to complete this lap and go second. So car 44, Chan Ka-ping, with a time of 2:46.407. Good enough to go second. And unfortunately that car is red flag,
and the session will not be
resumed. There's 6 minutes. We don't have much wiggle room today in the timetable, do we?
No.
For a free practice day, and that's why very quickly they're deciding, okay, that's a recovery, the clock is going to count down, we're not going to be able to do it, we're not going to be able to do it and get the session resumed in time. So immediate decision, let's call it time.
But part of the frustration these days for everybody, and the officials as much as anybody, is that the governing body's sporting code has changed for safety reasons. So to prevent things happening like, you know, Jules Bianchi's accident or Liam Lawson's near miss in Mexico, you can't have marshals on the track when the track is live.
Yeah.
Well, that's understandable, but of course here it used to be a feature that a marshal could quickly jump over the barrier, attach a rope, move a car, job done. Can't do that anymore, and that means that running an event at Macau is much more difficult than it was 3 or 4 years ago, say. The car that was in the wall for the first stoppage, by the way, was number 16, Rui Valent, because the car has just been brought back. 79 has also bounced off the barrier, as you see, which was Li Kuo-sun. But for Rui Valent to be in the wall is quite a surprise, because that's another name that we've become familiar with over the seasons.
Absolutely right, yeah. And
normally quick. Yeah.
We're looking down at the 93 car of Chung Pyo Lam in the Subaru. 23 car, that's the car of Zhou Xirei. Everybody else heading onwards and inwards into pit lane, which is going to leave Adrian Chung with the best lap, although interesting to see that Damon Chan and Chan Ka-ping, Lopak Yu were all putting in some pretty quick times. They only really got 2 flying laps in total, didn't they?
Yeah. And 27, Lucy Ray was not, I don't think, in the top 20, but has been sent to scrutineering. Everybody else about to be dispatched back to the underground car park that is the paddock. So yeah, session stopped, not to be resumed, and that was the Roadsport's activity of this part of the day. But they will be back out for half an hour of qualifying, all being well, 16:45 local time. They are due to be back on track a little bit later, as that's Adrian Chung, then the fastest driver in the free practice session. So Adrian Chung fastest from Chan Kar-ping. Damon Chan third from Lo Pak Yu and Chun Kin Sang. Sixth fastest was number 19 of Wang Chuk Pan, ahead of Wang Shang Yuan and Yu Yi Hao. Geronimo Balarajo, 28, was ninth, and to round out the top 10 it was Lung Tse Hua from Chung Chun Yuan. Then Bayan Yip, race winner in the championship. Vincent Yip next, ahead of Huang Ying and then Ivan Sito. Carlson Tang from Lung Keng He and Lam To to round out the top 18. Kenneth Wong was 19th and Sang Pak Yin completing the top 20. Further back, Campbell Fung only 23rd, Thomas Chat was 26th. Ao Chi Wang 28th, possibly somebody that you would have anticipated more from, and Rui Valent not getting a lap time in, given that he hit the wall very early on and did a lot of damage to the car. So fingers crossed that's going to be back out for later on, as the Macau Roadsport Challenge fully practice session comes to an end under a red flag.